Welcome everyone. We are going to start our fourth session of the day hosted by Pune chapter. We are going to discuss on the topic of the common challenges in agile transformation. Our speaker is going to be Amruta. So before we begin the session, I would like to thank our founding sponsor, Innovation Roots. It is a leading and consulting training service provider helping organizations to achieve business agility and beyond. It is one of the leaders and pioneers of niche publishing services and well known for content collaboration with global thought leaders, authors, and creators. Please visit www.innovationroots.com to see their upcoming summits and training. I would also like to thank our sponsor, Jile. Jile is a product offering from Tata Consultancy Services Limited. It is a purely cloud-based enterprise agile planning tool along with DevOps capabilities. Enterprises can use Jile to adopt agile practices or scale across multiple Scrum and Kanban teams using enterprise scaling frameworks such as SAFe, Disciplined, Agile, Less, and more. You can try out Jile for free up to 20 users for 1 year by signing up at jile.io or reach out to us for any inquiries or exclusive product demo. Check out the Jile page on Agile Network India website for more information. Thank you. I would like to now pass on the mic to Amyo to start today's session.
Thank you very much, Prakash, and welcome everyone for this wonderful session on this wonderful day of Holi. So first of all, I wish you all a very, very happy Holi and a very good afternoon. So today's session that we are conducting is by the Pune chapter of ANI. So first of all, we'd like to also thank ANI for giving us this opportunity to present this particular session. Before we begin, a couple of ground rules. Anybody who wants to comment on the topic or have any questions that you want to be answered or discussed, please put your questions or comments on the chat window during the session. I will be the moderator. I will collate all the questions, and towards the end of the session, I will pass the questions to our esteemed presenter, and we will have a discussion on those questions. Okay, so with that, now I would like to quickly introduce our speaker for today, and she is Amruta Pelepkar. Thank you so much, Amruta, for accepting to share your rich knowledge with the community today. And we hope to learn a lot today about what are the various challenges in the agile transformation journey that most of us face in our organizations, in our roles, be it any role. And we also hope to learn from you how you tackle some of these challenges in your experience and in your organizations. So once again, a warm welcome, Amruta. Thank you again for accepting to do this. And now I would like to pass it on to you. Can you please share your screen and start with a little bit of introduction of yours first for all of us, and then go ahead with the session. Thanks, Amruta.
Thanks, Amaya. Sure, I'll share my screen now. I guess I cannot share the screen. I guess Prakash needs to give me some rights.
Okay, now check once,
yeah,
Amruta.
now. Yeah.
Sorry
Thanks,
about that.
Prakash. No problem. Okay.
Yeah, we can see
are you
your
able to
screen.
see me? Okay, great. I'll start.
Yeah.
Okay. So today, first of all, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining me. And thanks, ANI, for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge and experience. Let's start with my introduction first. So I have overall 13 years of IT industry experience. Out of that, 8 years I was in Scrum Master Agile Consultant role. Before that, I was a development lead. I was worked as a development lead, and currently I am working with community brands as a Scrum Master, and I have done the CSM and SEF certification. So this is very brief introduction, and over the course of years, course of my careers, I have been working with various consultancies and such as Capgemini, Dassault Systems. So this is very brief introduction for for myself, and by over my career, I actually face many challenges. I have seen many organizations have faced many challenges over the agile transformation journey. So, some main key challenges I would like to present over here, which are very common. So, let's start with our presentation. Okay, so outline for this presentation is first introduction. So I'll be explaining some key terms when in the agile transformation. So what it is, why it is important, and what benefits it has. Also, we will moving on to the next, that what actually the challenges, why they are coming, how we can address those, and what would be the outcome. I'll be closing my presentation with some key takeaways, and we will be closing finally with Q&A session. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's start with introduction. So very basic, what is agile? So we all know that every day we are nowadays every company is working in agile manner. Most of the companies. So I have referring this particular definition of agile from Agile Alliance, which says that agile is the ability to create and respond to change. It is a way of dealing with and ultimately succeeding in an uncertain and turbulent environment. It is perfectly relate with our current environment, as we usually working in very dynamic environment, right? So and agile helps us to move in this kind of environment. So what actually agile means is to respond to the change, so that we never get stuck in any situation, and we build the agility. So, what is then agile transformation? So, agile transformation is made up of structure, governance, and metrics and tools. So, each and every company has their own hierarchy, has their own structure. So, what is the structure? So, structure means uh, every organization have the roles, responsibilities. Also, they have different types of teams and their own hierarchy. So, agile transformation also makes it's the part of the structure as well as the governance. So governance means the way organization works, the work it intakes, as well as how it respond to the requirements, and how it prioritize the requirement, and how it uh, deliver the product. So this is what governance is about. And last but not the least, it's metrics and tools. After all this change, how organization will measure the success, and how to communicate that success. So metrics and tools will help us to do that. So agile transformation is made up of these three things. And mainly it enables us to prepare for our VUCA world. We all know we are in the VUCA world. So VUCA is abbreviated as a vulnerable, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world. Uh, as I mean, it's for our current COVID situation. If you see, it's very vulnerable, and we don't know what causing the next change, right? So, for example, now many soap making companies making sanitizers as well. So this kind of agility needs to be there in this particular VUCA world. And agile transformation is one of the answers for that. Okay. Next, moving on to the next. Just okay. And because of agile transformation, there are many advantages companies have seen. So first of all, agile promotes the end-to-end collaboration and involvement of the customer. So whenever right from the beginning, right from the gathering the requirement till the end of the delivery of the product, customer is involved in each and every process. So this is the one thing where agile gives us mechanism to get the feedback from the customer as and when required and as per the deliveries we are doing. So this is the main advantage, so that we are actually moving with the market. It also fosters the culture of innovation. Why? Because as we get the feedback from the customer, or when we sense the market of the when we sense the market, we can see that okay, we need this particular thing needs to be done in different way. So this is people might think that okay, we can do this thing in a different way, and this is what innovation culture is, and it agile promotes that, and it gives us the environment to do so. Also, it improves the productivity, and it also empowered and engage the workforce. As people are innovating and customers are using new things, and uh, development team or actual organizational staff is motivated to do new things, they are feel more empowered and engaged. Okay. So now I'll be moving to the speaking about the challenge. For explaining the challenge, I'll be using my own experience with one of the insurance company, which was 100 years old, and it has around 800 employees. And this is very old company, and they were facing some of the problems. So main two problems, their CEO has identified that the new companies are coming in the market, and because of that, uh, they are facing very good competition, because newcomers are, with full-fledged automated plans and customized plans for the customers. And they also face the competition in terms of delivery cycle, their processing cycle. So for example, their claims, I mean, these companies claims was taking around minimum 7 days for processing the whole claim. But the thing is that over here, new companies are actually very automated, and they have just SLA for the processing the claim is hardly 2 to 3 days. So this is what they were facing. And to address these challenges, their CEO has decided the vision, and for that they have decided the goals about how to respond this market change quickly. Also, they found out that they need to reduce the time to market delivery as well as the processing cycles of the claims and overall process. So moving on to the next. So these are the challenges, and uh, I'll be explaining one by one. And these main four challenges I have taken, but there are many more. Yeah. So first challenge is fostering an agile culture. So why it is challenge? So as this insurance company, this North American insurance company was very old, and they have kind of traditional culture in their organization. So there was a culture as a leader is always right. It's kind of bureaucratic culture, and because of that, people only follows the order from their bosses, and they don't feel that they need to improve, or they need to optimize their work, or how they can do some things differently so that product can be better. So they don't have so employees don't can't even think that how they can do that, because there was a bureaucratic culture. Also, because of this, there was no psychological safety, as I have just mentioned that people just don't know how to do that. And as there is a bureaucratic culture, it's employees employees face the fear of failing, because they thought that if they got failed, uh, their manager or their leaders uh, will fire them, or will take some serious action. So there was no psychological safety for experimentation or to do some new things. And because of this, they have the fixed mindset. So they though they have employees have seen that market is coming in different direction and what they are doing is different, still they don't want to improve on that because of this culture. So after when our team as a agile consultant, we have stepped in and we have seen these observation, and these are the some of the steps we have taken. For example, first of all, we have seen there is a bureaucratic culture, so we need to have first retrospective, so that every team member will get aware that what actually going on and what needs to be done. And so and we have made sure that leadership never will get involved in the such retrospective, so that employees can talk freely what they feel about it. So, and while retrospectives are going on, we also arrange the workshops for the leadership team to make them understand that agile is not about command and control or bureaucratic culture. It's about empowering the team and how they should not micromanage the overall organization. So this is the first step we have taken. Then another thought had when we had taken the retrospective, it seems that people have many new ideas for improving their product or their way of working. So we thought that let's do one day in each sprint for innovation, so that people will also get to know, yes, they can experiment, they can innovate what they want. And though it's not as we all know, Google has this policy that 80% of their time for actual work and 20% for their own ideas and innovation. Though it's not exactly the same we have implemented, but we have just implemented in a different way. Another steps we have taken, we actually we actually seen that there was some potential for in some of the ideas. And customers we actually there were employees where they can research on what customer wants. So we actually surveyed, and ideas had been shortlisted and came up as a backlogs item out of that. So this is the main this is one of the step we had taken, so that product is much more better to use. Also, we as we have seen, customer is also interested by knowing the new ideas and implement them according to their own experiences, customers experiences. They are they actually feel that okay, they can make the change, and what they want, they will get it from this product. So we have also asked customers to give feedback timely basis. And the outcome of these particular steps were very good. As customers were involved, the customer rapport was built and in a very good way. And actually because of that, we actually got a timely sense that where is the market is going. And because of this, uh, people I mean employees are actually thinking about how to automate this thing and how we can give this particular thing, I mean some of the things very in a very less time. So they started thinking of automating and optimizing some things. So because of this, actually claims settlement cycle was reduced by 25%, which was the biggest achievement, because this is the main thing where customers were complaining that they had very problematic cycle for the claims settlement. And as I have mentioned earlier, they have employees have found out the new ways of automation and optimization. And because and as these things had been implemented, so employees got the sense that yes, they can improve on overall product, and they find that yes, we should also involve in overall product progress and overall product growth, and we also develop the growth mindset. Okay. As agile culture organization culture is one of the challenges, but the learning attitude is also one of the challenges this is commonly faced by the organizations, as we have uh, we have seen that in the organization, it there was there were so much not there was no eager to learn new things. It was very hard, it was very hard to learn new things for the people, employees, because they feel that what our boss is saying is always right, then why to innovate, why to implement anything other than that? And they already have decided what should be the next step, why we put our head. So this kind of observation we have seen, and because of that there was no knowledge sharing, as people might have thought about that why to share the knowledge. If they share the knowledge, they will get the uh, competition for them. So instead of doing that, let's keep it on their own. And another observation we have seen that HR was not involved in any of the uh, processes related to employees. And also because of all these things, employees were not ready to respond to the change quickly, and that's why this company was facing these challenges from the or competition from the newcomers. As we have observed this, there are a couple of steps we have taken to address this. So we identified the skills and planned the training, as we have not planned actually, but yes, we have identified, and we actually gave that particular metrics to management team, that look, these are the skills we will be needing, but these are the skills we don't have to improve our product. So management team then took the actions accordingly and arranged the sessions and trainings for the employees. Also uh, there we arrange the knowledge sharing sessions for the employees, so that they can share not only work on their own module, but also they can hear from others and learn from others experiences and problems and solutions. So this is how they not only they share the knowledge but also collaborate with each other. And the for last but not the least, we ask HR to involve in each and every process of related to the employees, because HR is taking HR is usually taking care of roles and responsibilities, but for because of agile transformation, it will be changed. Roles and responsibilities and dynamics of the teams will be changing. So HR should be there to decide their career path, career growth, and have the clarity on that. So these are the steps we have taken, and the outcome of that, the biggest achievement we have seen in this particular area was attrition rate reduced to 2%. And we actually saw that why people, I mean, why before people were not happy. So before that, there was a bureaucratic culture, and because of that culture and also no new learning or no new growth, so they felt that why it's their career got stagnant, their career will get stagnant over here. So they always left the company. Many of the teams left the company, but because of this change, people feel that their voice is now hearing by management team. So they were happy, and attrition rate got reduced to 2%. Also uh, because of collaboration and knowledge sharing sessions, team developed the pie shape skills, as well as they felt the self-organized team, so they can take their own decisions, that who will do what and who will wanted to do what. And it's not always boss will they feel that boss shouldn't be involved in each and everything. And also because of we have trained the leadership team to not to micromanage, they also cooperate with these teams. And employees also took the ownership of their career development plan, because HR has got involved, and HR also had the clarity. So they actually so HR and actual uh, development team actually got collaborated and draw the path for their careers. Yeah. Okay. So while learning is one of the most important thing in agile culture, there is another most foremost important challenge is we have to address is focusing on the goals in the vision. So many a times what happens, we have seen in this company as well, that many times people are not aware why we are doing it, what will be what we can achieve after this. Okay, if we are delivering this particular release in this particular time period, but what would be the next, and okay, why we are doing it, they don't see the any value in that. And because of that they have only short term gain focused, just to deliver this particular model in this week, but they don't know the bigger picture. This is this is one of the challenges or observations we have seen. And also there was, we have seen in this company, poor management of the work. So what is it means? So when we are transitioning from traditional company to agile organization, the people have their own way of working for existing work, and they feel that I mean, how to, they got overwhelmed, and because of existing work is still there, as the it was not before, it was not before automated or optimized. So if the piling of the work is there, so they felt very uh, overwhelmed, and because of that they don't have the clarity why they are doing it and how they can finish the existing work. And also because of that overwhelmness, they lost the patience. As we all know, agile is not the overnight journey. It will take time, and they lost the patience. And you know, they literally thought of or rather started taking the return to their own previous old way of working. So these are the observations we have seen. So first of all, what we have taken first and foremost step is, as people don't have the clarity, we saw that how to give them the bigger picture. So we mainly set the milestones, and we divided those milestones in the weekly, monthly, and quarterly basis, so that uh, employees will get a clear idea by when, where, and what needs to be done at what period of time. And because of clarity, they have got now proper product backlog, and also proper product backlog, and they have invested user storage. So what is the proper product backlog? So we have used this deep deep mechanism, which is actually abbreviated as detailed, appropriately, estimated, emergent, and priority. So these the product backlog should be detailed and estimated and emergent and prioritized, so that people can work on that backlog. And whenever there is a stack of requirement, the first two sprints backlog should be ready to work. And also in that backlog, we have also again used the mechanism for the user stories as invested, which is independent, negotiable, valuable, and small and testable, so that it's very modular and easy to work. So people, now employees know how, where, and on what they have to work on. And to reinforce the vision, there we have asked leadership team to arrange the town halls as well as some Q&A sessions directly with the employees, so that if they don't have any clarity or any question about their roles, responsibilities, and overall a product goal or product progress, they can directly ask to the leadership team. So we have arranged this, we have asked to arrange this, and leadership team done that. And also because of this, they have now got the transparency on the progress. So we, as a agile consultant, we made sure that what people are working will get to will actually visible to everybody. And therefore people also get to know where they are going, not only they are working, but how they are closer to the goal. So this is what we have taken the steps. And because of these steps, we have seen the outcome that actually the committed and completed overall product backlog was 90%, which is a huge achievement because they already have overwhelmed because of existing work, but because of this clarity they have now much more in the better shape, and they got motivated because of this clarity, and they have completed uh, in a bigger amount. Also, we have given them the how, what actually needs to be adjusted as per the previous, or as per the product backlog has got changed as per the priority. So these steps, because of that the inspect and adapt, and as per the uh, their output, they can adjust accordingly for the next steps. And because of this people have got motivated, every because each and everybody's voice had been heard. This is one of the one of the main challenge, that sustaining the momentum in the execution of the strategy, of the product goals. So why it is the challenge? Because if even if we have the clarity on the goal, but how to set the momentum, how to keep that momentum is the biggest challenge. Because there we have observed that in this company uh, there was major roadblocks because of some of the dependencies. Also there was no enough skills for the to address the unknowns, as the this company is moving from traditional to new technology. They are actually facing some of the unknowns. Even if they got the training, they don't know where to find it. And also there are still the people, I mean organization is transitioning from traditional to agile. There are still some of the area where top down approach is there, so it because of that progress got slowed down. To address this, what we have taken as a steps are, we have first saw that why there is a dependency, why there is no proper communication. So we have found out that people are not much familiar with each other, they don't trust each other, so they don't communicate with each other, collaborate freely. So for that, what we have done, we arrange the team bonding activities, as well as some agile workshops and governance structure and framework workshops. As we all know that agile has different frameworks, and for each team, not for each team but most of the teams, some of the frameworks are useful. For example, scrum is useful when you are building the feature, or kanban is used when we are addressing some of the bugs or support tickets. So these kind of frameworks, we workshops for the frameworks we have arranged and trained the team for this kind of work area. And also we as a agile consultant made sure that um, there is a proper cadence and ceremonies carried over, so that over the course of agile journey, so that people will get to know where they are and what they need to do and what everybody is doing. And not only that, after we left, we also made sure that it should continue, so that again this work should continue as it is now, I mean it is now progressing in a fast-paced environment. Also now people have the people had the habit of listening to their boss. Now they got empowered. We made sure that how they got empowered, so we asked leadership team to decentralize the decision making, so that people will get the freedom to not every time ask for the approvals or something. So the decisions, so small decisions can be taken at their level, and if there is any bigger decision needs to be taken, they can ask the leadership team. Also we made sure that how people can see where they are going, and whether it's a good progress or bad progress, or whether they need to speed up the work, or um, is it going to be helpful what they are doing for the product. So to answer those questions, we actually made sure that on prominent places we actually displayed the information radiators such as burn down burn up chart, also the um, speedometer for bugs density, and also the customer satisfaction index also. And it is not only displayed on the prominent places in the organization, but also we made sure that everybody can access those information radiators at the centralized location. So yeah, so we have taken these steps, and the outcome of it is that we have seen that customer satisfaction index was 4 out of 5. So it was again the another big achievement for this team, this organization, because already they are facing a huge setback from competitors, and this is now huge achievement. That means people are again on the track of using this insurance company as their uh, insurance claim settlement, for the claim settlement. Also their market share, because of these kind of changes, their market share increased by 25%, as people are I mean, their customers are quite satisfied with their service, with this insurance company's service. uh, People are actually giving them a good rating, and because of that their market share got increased by 25%. And because of information radiator, they got overall transparency over what work is being done and what needs to be done, and is it a good bad, or what customer is happy or not, and what needs to be done, what on their own actions. So these are the things these are the outputs we have seen, and it's quite successful, I would say. And these challenges are very primary challenges for this insurance company, though there are many more challenges, I would say, but these are the main challenges we have seen. Okay, now the key takeaways. So from my experience, I have seen many of the companies, and this particular insurance company have faced the agile transformation challenge in in various ways. So first of all, each and every company has their own agile unique journey, because every company has their own culture, and how it will be changing, it's up to the company's overall working environment and their leadership team. So it's a unique journey. Second, so it's not fit for all, so it will be unique. And then second is regular customer loop. This is the very, you know, this is very useful whenever we are launching new product or new service, new feature, or I would say any any case. So whenever we are seeing customer, what customer want, what customer liking or not, and so that we can sense the market. And this actually the one of the main advantage that we should take from the agile transformation journey, that we should always keep in mind that we should have some customer feedback loop in place. Another key takeaway is leadership should walk the talk. What does it means? So it means that though leadership agreed on achieving the goals, and but they should follow some of the they should follow some of the things which actually agile encourage them to do so. For example, they shouldn't be fall trap into the in their command and control culture again, though they feel that why if even if they feel that whether team is able to do that or not, by seeing overall motivation they can draw the conclusion that yes, we can give the chance, and they should encourage overall experimentation, innovation. This is one of the examples, but yeah, leadership team shouldn't be fall into again that bureaucratic command and control trap. So they should walk the talk, and they shouldn't encourage any anti patterns. This is the main key takeaway. Another is team should feel the purpose, that team is actually whenever team gets clarity on what they are doing and the purpose why they are doing it, how it will help the overall product and overall market or user, they will definitely take over everything what they need to do. So this is one of the key takeaways, that they should feel the purpose, that they should know the purpose. And overall encourage workforce to challenge the status quo, because agile is actually changing the overall work culture, overall organization work. So it actually challenges the ego for example. So this is not only the process or behavior of the employees, but also overall mindset. It actually revolves around the mindset. And this is what the challenge is, that it challenge the status quo. And this is what the key takeaway, that we should be prepared for this, that this is coming, and how we can tackle this, and how we can evolve in this particular culture. Another is uh, the create psychological safety to experiment, fail fast, and share learning. So this is the integral part of agile transformation journey, that whenever you are doing anything, we have to have freedom to give employees that experiment, innovate, and even if they are fail, they fail, but we should see it as a learning and opportunity to uh, get the new horizon for the new requirement. So these are the some key takeaways. And yeah, uh, this is what I would like to share with you all. And any questions, if you have any questions and or any comments, you can ask me now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Amruta. I think wonderful, lots of great stuff and examples. And I, for one, certainly don't want to be in that claims team that you mentioned, which is doing everything wrong with the wrong mindset. So, so wonderful points. I think you touched upon most of the important principles of agile over there. And I see one suggestion come question on the chat window so far. But guys, we still have a few more minutes to go. I hope, Prakash, that's okay. So if you have any questions or any thoughts to share, any suggestions, please put them on the chat right now, and we do have a couple of minutes to address a few of those. So Amrita, the first one that I want
Mhm.
to just get your thoughts on. Prashant says that one of the challenges that he sees is not initiating the transformation with the right intent.
Mhm.
Okay, so he's basically stressing on the word intent over there. So what in your experience or in your judgment is the importance of starting with the right intent for a
Hmm.
transformation to work?
Okay, so first of all, why as we should have the intent to do something, right, in every area. So what is the intent? So if it's different subjective to each and every company, as this company is facing the competition from others. They don't they have the very old technology. So if this kind of intent is there, that we have to emerge in new market, emerge with the new technology, this is one of the intent, we can say. Or if anybody wants to make scalable solution where currently there is no scalable solution. So this kind of intent, one of them is can be addressed through this. So I from my perspective, I would say intent is different for different companies, but definitely agile has most of the answers for them.
Absolutely.
Is that
Thanks, Amruta. I know you said intent is different for different companies, but it still has to be the right intent. And I think
yeah, yeah,
that's the key
true.
over there. And so, Prashant, thanks a lot for
Yeah.
initiating that. I think excellent point. Uh, Another question that I just see on the chat is
Uh-huh.
from Divya. And Divya says, or asks, during the transformation process,
Uh-huh.
how were the critical deliverables handled? So there will always be some critical deliverables, and you are also doing transformation at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
how were the customers convinced about any delays in the critical deliverables, because
Hmm.
when you are doing the transformation, some of the deliverables will be delayed maybe. So very right
Definitely.
point, Divya. So thanks for bringing this up. So Amrita, what do you think? How did, in your experience, how did you handle these critical deliverables, delays,
Okay.
etc.?
So I would say, as you have mentioned, Amaya, correctly, that I will also take critical deliveries as not only important, but might be, I mean, some of the deliveries are important and critical. If there is no release cycle going on, we have to deliver it right away, or whenever they are ready for the release. So it's kind of blocker issues, I would say, or blocker requirements which we need to address. So these kind of deliveries we have to arrange this mechanism. So we have one of the couple of team members to address this, as we currently, and before that also we have worked in different time zones. So we have in each time zone we have one person to handle these kind of deliveries, so that whatever the updates they are doing, or what are the updates on that particular issue, we will be getting 24 by 7. And if anything comes up, we definitely ask the customer and address the customer that, look, we actually made them transparent enough that this is what going on, this is what the problems are. So mainly I would say critical deliveries can be handled. In the first place, you have to have very very transparent about it, what's going on. Second, if delays are happening on that critical deliveries, it should be kind of as we already know that negotiation should be there, that for if one critical delivery is coming up, we have to sacrifice some of the work for time being. So this should be conveyed, communicated properly, and uh, transparently to the customer, so it won't hamper
Excellent.
any
Yeah,
relationship, or uh, any messed up. uh,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Amrita. I think you also, I mean, in other words, if I may put, and tell me if I'm wrong, is that the
Uh-huh.
customer also is a part of the transformation, right? I mean, it is not as if you are doing the transformation and customer is someone different
Yeah.
who's not in
Yeah.
the, not aware
Yeah,
of
you
what's
rightly
going on.
said.
So
Definitely.
yeah, so customer has to be onboarded, and there will be
Yes.
certainly some urgent delivery. So I remember one example where, when we were doing a transformation, we had
Hmm.
created, like you said, that one person is working on the urgent deliveries. We had a team, and
Hmm.
which we used to, the name of the team was keeping the lights on, so KLO. So we said
Okay.
that this team will take care of all the urgent work which the customer is jittery about, which they feel that,
Okay.
all this agile transformation is okay, but what about tomorrow if I want to do something? So I think you hinted
Yeah, true.
in a similar way. So I just remembered that, so wanted to bring that example also. So thanks, Amruta. There's a couple more nice questions. So we'll just quickly cover those two questions, and then probably I know the next speaker is also waiting. So Sasi asks how to handle the situation where some team members are reluctant due to lack of recognition of their work in the team. Like, for example, he says, if a person is not promoted for a long period and he is not ready to accept any change, and he is a key resource. So how to handle this situation where somebody is, really demotivated and those kind of things. So, yeah,
Okay.
what's your experience, Amrita?
Okay, so first of all, agile is mainly about only with the people. It's, I mean, work comes afterwards, people first. So in these kind of situations, I would suggest that manager or scrum master, as I'm working as a scrum master and I have been worked as a agile coach also, I always suggested the people, and always as a scrum master, I have habit of having the one-on-one session with everybody, so I can sense even, and yeah, uh, everybody, I mean leadership team also sense what actually going on the team. So in the stand up, even I'm not I mean, even if I think I'm only reading between the lines what people are saying by their tones, and just, I mean, if they are very irritated, I got that sense, and I always ping them, and I always meet them personally what happened. So this is kind of, it will we have to, I will for process purpose, I will say we have to have one-on-ones with this kind of people, or this, I mean, whenever we are handling any team, we have to have one-on-one with everybody, because not everybody is comfortable with talking what their feelings are on the forum. So they can talk in one-on-one and make them very friendly, or make the environment in a such a way that when you are in one-on-one, it's not like you are asking some of the reporting question. It's like, what's going on, it's kind of friendly, it should be friendly one-on-one, and so that people can vent if they have anything, this kind of thing. And if people, even if people are got demotivated, definitely this has been come up in not in a sudden way, I would say. It's kind of progression. So whenever each and every appraisal, even if, look, I'm not involved in nowadays appraisals, so still I always ask people whenever the appraisal is done. It's not like what you are feeling about the appraisal, but I always take, after that one on one, I always see how they are feeling about the appraisal. So some of the poking questions I always ask. And yeah, and if the team is there is healthy, if another thing, as a team level, if there is a healthy competition, or there is worst competition is going on in internal team, so we have to see these kind of factors. And about the promotion and all, it's
Excellent,
about,
excellent. Yeah.
yeah.
No, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Complete your answer.
No,
Sorry.
I'm just saying about the promotion and promote why they are, I mean, when people are not happy with their, why they are not get promoted, even if they are key person. I would say that, I mean, I have helped this kind of situation with the HR. So I always ask HR what is the feedback in that. And it's not that we are asking the justification or anything. We want some constructive, objective feedback. What actually, why it is there and what is happening.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Amruta. I think our time is up already. So I think you summed it up really well, Amruta. That it is about being agile rather than doing agile. And if you be agile, then you will give importance to relationships, building relationships, and that will solve the problems. The way you gave the examples, just summing that up. So once again, I know there's one or two more questions, but I'll pass those questions to Amruta, and hopefully she'll
Yeah,
respond to you guys offline.
definitely.
So thanks a lot once again, Amruta, for your time and this great learning opportunity and sharing your knowledge. So
Thank you so
wonderful.
much.
And I'll now pass it on back to Shreya and Prakash.
Thank you so much, Amruta. Thank you so much, Ameya, for such a wonderful session. Thank you for your valuable time and contribution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
so
Bye.
much for this opportunity.